Good evening. This is Stan Matthews in the Matthews broadcast. We welcome you, the greatest audience in the world, to the empowerment, the upliftment, the enrichment broadcast on this Tuesday, the 27th of June. We have a very special show because we have a very special guest with us. And I know that the wisdom is going to be on overflow this evening, so I can't wait for you to hear and to see what you have in store. We welcome you to the Empowerment, Upliftment, and Enrichment broadcast this evening, and we begin, as we always do, by focusing in on three principles: upliftment, empowerment, and enrichment. And we want to add a fourth: alignment. Especially, I put that one in because of our guest. And I'm not going to spoil it for you because she's going to tell you how to get into alignment, mind, body, and spirit. As we always do, we want to say thanks first. Being grateful, I think, is a principle that puts you in a place where you are ready to receive and where you're ready to be blessed. So to you, our audience, and for all my blessings seen and unseen, I want to say thank you to my friends, Vernon Bradbury, the captain of the Newark Bike Police Detail, Allison Skeet of Distinguished Guyanese Women, Joseph Peterson. Again, congratulations, Joe Pete, on your retirement from many, many years of being an awesome educator in Passaic County. Vinnie Jackson in the Philadelphia Attorney General's office. Greg Jones, my great friend in finance in Willingboro. Sarah Cepeda in Cherry Hill, the Empowerment Queen. Hope everything is well with you this evening, Sarah. In other states, Dennis King in Pennsylvania, Shaka Andrews in Miami, my great friend Leslie Andrews also in Honolulu, Hawaii, practicing law down there. You and Stephen, be blessed. Charlene St. Clair in Richmond, Virginia, Pinky Andrews in Hampton, Virginia, Harry and Anna Staley in Charleston, South Carolina. Hope everything is well with both of you. Cool Otis Brown, Lisa's favorite drummer.
Super cool
Otis Brown, an awesome school principal, educator, and musician of the Otis Brown Ensemble. We miss you, having relocated to Hotlanta from Scotch Plains, but we do miss you and your beautiful wife. We hope all is well with you. Thanks for tuning in. Mauricio Pinedo in Tampa, Florida. Greg Riley in Falls Church, Virginia. I can't say I love that football team of yours. That cowboy thing, I can't understand being a New Jersey guy, but you go ahead and do that thing for yourself. Harvetta Fax in Columbia, Maryland. Just returning from vacation with Mama. It was good talking to you. I know you guys spent 2 weeks together bonding and doing all kinds of fun and naughty stuff in the Caribbean. Mother and daughter vacation team.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about that?
I know all about
you just did that in Greece,
yes,
huh?
And it was fantastic.
Mother and daughter. Our international friends, Phaedra Andrews in London, England, Audrey Pereira in Port of Spain, Trinidad Simpson da Silva in Guyana, South America, Adoranka Batamosi in Bermuda, and of course the entire Hibbert family in Kingston, Jamaica. We want to thank all of you for watching the Matthews broadcast and being part of this awesome audience. We also would like to ask you, as we always do, to support our super sponsors, without whom there would not be a Matthews broadcast. So we want to ask you to support them by visiting them, but more importantly, doing business with them. First and foremost, Dorson Home Care. They're a breath of fresh air for caregivers everywhere. For your long-term caregiving needs, call Dorson. They're at 973-672-7691 for the best home care anywhere. They're conveniently located at 395 Pleasant Valley Way in West Orange, and they have a second office in Roselle on Chestnut Street, owned by Dr. Winston Scott, an awesome ophthalmologist.
Yes.
Did I say that right?
Beautiful family.
And Mrs. Sonia Scott, his boss in chief. Someone mentioned to me today that behind every good man there is a woman that is threatening him to do right. So I don't know if that's you, Sonia, but I know you all are down there in Pennsylvania, and Winston is a good man. Thank you, by the way, to the Dorson Foundation. Lisa and I enjoyed an awesome, their foundation barbecue. It was an awesome time we had on Sunday.
And the food was delish.
So get home safe from bringing your daughter from that residency to another hospital. I was asking someone, why would a young doctor want to be a resident at two hospitals? But I guess I'll ask young Miss Scott when they come back. I guess she wants to be good in two disciplines on her way to the second hospital. Also want you to call Paul Dussard, the Wealth Doctor, at 973-220-5026 at 300 Midland Avenue in Saddlebrook. Paul teaches clients how money works. And Paul's organization is called Dream Builders. They're in Saddlebrook, New Jersey. And Paul and his beautiful wife, Serena, are celebrating their anniversary this evening. He told me that their anniversary celebration is seeing a movie together. So whatever the movie is, I see about 3 or 4 different classics that they might have chosen. But Paul and Serena are 2 super people, and we want to say, along with everybody else, welcome, Martin. With everybody else, happy anniversary to Paul and to Serena Dussard. Divorce is a task that is best done right, must be done right, and we ask each one of those in our listening audience to contact our master counselor and friend, Cassandra Savoy. Cassandra's law office is in Bloomfield, New Jersey, and Cassandra could be reached at 973-748-0097. Nothing but nothing says, I love you like flowers. You've tried the rest, now try the best. A Rose's Petals at 472 Broadway in Paterson, New Jersey, owned by Nathaniel and Carolyn Joe for more than 21 years. They are also on the list of flowers.com preferred vendors. That means that they can deliver anywhere in the country, and we are so happy that we call them our friends. So nothing says I love you like flowers. You've tried the rest, now try the best. A Rose's Petal, 973-742-5333. Mr. G's Restaurant, where good friends greet, meet, and eat, at 455 East 18th Street, also in Paterson. They can be reached at 973-782-4020. Russell Grady, the Dean of African American Entrepreneurs, has been in business for himself since coming from Wainwright, Georgia, at 18 years old with $28 and 2 sandwiches and a suitcase. He has been in business for 54 years. He is wealthy in finance and wealthy in wisdom. I am very blessed to call him friend. His journey is a story unto itself, from where he came, how he came, what he came with, and to what he has become. A pillar in the community, everyone's friend, everyone's uncle and dad, with just a wellspring of wisdom. Mr. G's, check him out. Just to go and have a conversation with him is history and revelatory. For advice and planning that's always great, call Smith Gilmore Real Estate. Violet Smith Gilmore and her team, including Miss Kim Garrett, they can manage your real estate. If you're buying, if you're selling, call Smith Gilmore Real Estate. They're at 201-723-4203 and can easily be reached at 1258 Teaneck Road in Teaneck. Lisa knows something about Teaneck.
Mm-hmm. I used to live right off of Teaneck Road.
The elementary school teachers are still cheering that you left.
Gee.
I heard you was something as a student back then.
No.
The funding magnet funding your plans so that you can live your dreams. If you want to raise $5,000 to $25,000 in working capital with no debt, call Anthony Hibbert and the team at Funding Magnet at 973-357-5701, 973-220. I'm sorry, I'm giving someone else's number. I better give Anthony's number, 973-357-3698. The mortgage you need for the home you want is at Citizens Mortgage. More than 30 years of excellence. Michelle Alvarez and her dad, who is sitting back and drinking nice fruity beverages in Honolulu, Hawaii, while Marichelle and the team write mortgages in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. Citizens Mortgage, call them at 201-398-0800. And you can visit them at 26-01 Pellick Drive in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. You want the max? Get Optimum Tax and Financial Services. They are 5-star rated online and Better Business Bureau certified. So all of your financial needs personally and as a business, if you need representation before the IRS, call Ivan Maxey and his brother Tony Maxey. His daughters, Taj and Miss Sterling, his office manager, they're all there at 500 Rahway Avenue in Elizabeth waiting to serve you. You want the max? Get Optimum Tax and Financial Services. Finally, JunesGlobal.com, redefining youth with revolutionary products and life-changing opportunities. Junes is a company that provides products that brings out the natural youth and the glow in your skin. You can reach them at www.glow.junesse, global.com. So it's www.glow.junesglobal.com, redefining youth with revolutionary products and life-changing opportunities. We will be giving samples away in the coming weeks of the Junes products, so you can try it here. So these are the companies that we'd like to ask you to contact. You can find them on our website. You can get them directly from us on our Facebook page. These are our sponsors. We ask you to visit them, even in fact pray for their businesses to continue to be strong and abundant. Now, this broadcast emphasizes 4 principles as of tonight, and those principles are alignment, empowerment, upliftment, and enrichment. For alignment, I'll just go right to the first chapter of the book of Genesis for those of you who are Bible toters. The first chapter, verses 26 to 28, says that you are made in the image and likeness of God and given his authority to rule. Further, Psalm 82:6 says, ye are gods and the children of the Most High God. So we should be living in alignment with that divinity from which we come. The second principle, empowerment. As our poet laureate Maya Angelou has taught us, remember, you are a kingdom builder, but nothing changes until you change it. You have to use those gifts Sister Maya taught us to change everything. In fact, she went further in one of her most famous pieces and said to us, people will forget what you said, they may forget what you did, but they will never ever forget how you made them feel. So we have to be investing in making people feel like divinity at all times. We remind you always, audience, your candle loses nothing when it lights another. Your candle loses nothing when it lights another. Finally, enrichment. Money can't solve all of our problems, but it can certainly solve our money problems. And this is one of the most vexing things to me. Maybe I read too much, but as I remind you every single night, we are a very wealthy people. The United States of America's gross domestic product last year, goods and services sold in this country, were $19.3 trillion. Of that number, urban communities in the United States of America have the purchasing power of $4.2 trillion, which would make us, if we were defined as an independent nation, the seventh wealthiest nation in the world. $4.2 trillion goes through our hands, but I am not satisfied that we are using that purchasing power to beautify, strengthen, and uplift our communities the way we should. So we are very wealthy. We just need to organize and utilize our wealth in ways that are a blessing to us. One of the worst statistics is that within 6 hours that $4.2 trillion comes in urban communities in America, it goes out within 6 hours. In the Asian community, dollar circulates 19 times, touches 19 hands before it leaves the community. In the Jewish American community, 16 times. In the Hindu community, 13 times. In our community, 6 hours. That means on Friday, we get something to eat, we get our due-did, we get a haircut, and it's gone. So now think about $4.2 trillion leaving urban centers every single week for 52 weeks a year, enriching everyone else who has set up shop in our community. So that's something we must change. The challenge, in my opinion, of the 21st century and beyond is the imperative for black and brown wealth, so that we are not dependent on other communities, nor do we have to engage in a conversation of dependence with other communities. We produce enough goods and services and have enough purchasing power to build wonderfully beautiful communities, kingdom here on earth ourselves. And so we need to get serious about doing that as we can, with our own hands and our own talents, bring Dr. King's beloved community and Malcolm's Just Society into view because of our own action. Speaking of which, there is an organization here in the state of New Jersey that is built and structured to help our communities circulate dollars among themselves. That organization is called UBA, the Urban Business Association, founded by Keith Broadway and Jerry Moultrie, our good friends, Super Jerry. If you're serious about growing your clientele today, accept no substitutes. Join UBA. You can reach them at 908-259-5012. 908-259-5012. I highly recommend becoming a member of UBA so that you're in an organization whose basis is to circulate dollars in your own community. Finally, I just want to mention this healthcare debate, and then we'll bring our guests in. We were meeting with some friends and talking about what the differences are in the Democratic version of healthcare and the Republican version of healthcare. And I was sharing with them that there are some choices being made. And the choice being made by our Republican friends and representatives is that 22 million people will not have healthcare as they do right now under the Affordable Health Care Act. And that is simply so that the Republicans can keep a promise to the upper 1% in this country. What was that promise? That they would not have to pay the taxes that expanded Medicare so that the infirm, the poor, and the elderly would be covered under the Affordable Care Act. There's going to be almost $300 billion worth of tax cuts from the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, and this will be given back in the Republican version of health care so that those people won't have to pay that anymore. And of course, what will that do in urban communities? That will mean less health care. That will mean more emergency room visits. That may, in fact, as some have said, lead to death by people who are unserved and underserved. So understand this. This is a political choice, and we have to make sure we understand this political choice and organize ourselves so these kind of choices, when they are made, we have alternative options of health care for ourselves. I am very, very happy to bring in our wonderful guests. We have Miss Samut Scott from Trenton, New Jersey, who has a ministry of health and wellness of her own and has had for a very long time. I've known her going all the way back to 2001 when we met at a seminar that she was doing in Lawrenceville that a good friend of mine had had invited me to, and I'm happy to know her since that time. We haven't caught up as much as we did in the old days, but still doing it. Social media has provided us a way to be linked, and I'm glad to have her here this evening. We are also joined by Mr. Martin Cox, who is a criminal defense attorney and also is the attorney for the Dorson Foundation, which we mentioned earlier, and has a fantastic rites of passage program that he is initiating this summer for young men at 13 years old, which, as we all know, is the time of bar mitzvah with Jewish young men. What we should also know, though, is where did the Israelites get the 13th year that a young man should be bar mitzvah? Well, they spent 440 years in Kemet, the land of the blacks. And guess what? If you research your own history, you will find that in West Africa, Southern Africa, and Northeast Africa, what is known as Egypt, a young man is initiated into the ranks of manhood at 13. So our Jewish friends learned the bar mitzvah or coming of age from somewhere. When they were hanging out down in Kemet on the Nile, they learned it from us. So, you know, I often giggle when people repackage our stuff and then try and teach it to us. This is our thing, and I'm not saying that to be parochial or discriminatory. I'm saying that to be historical and truthful. This is our thing. You learned it from us, and we there are those of us who have read enough to know it, and so we have to remind you that you're little boys and little girls on the map of history. We've been around for a long time. And so we're not going to make you let us feel that we are juvenile and have to learn from you. So we're glad to have our guests, and I'm going to turn it over to Lisa to begin with Samud and also let our audience know where she is and how to support her.
All right. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. So my first question is, please tell us, what is the name of your business?
So my organization is Mama Yoga's Wellness Coaching, or My Wellness Coaching.
Nice. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
And what is the unique value of your business?
So Mama Yoga's Wellness Coaching provides healthy living, mindfulness training, yoga and meditation practices to individuals who are our customers and clients. The unique thing about Mama Yoga's Wellness is we have a compassionate way of nurturing wellness for people. It's not really about teaching individuals how to get their legs behind their head, right? And you know that perspective of what yoga is and what mindfulness is, we just want to, earlier somebody said, reclaiming what is ours, right? And often we have to reclaim these practices, repackage them, redistribute them so that they're digestible to the people who don't know that they actually belong to. So the unique value of Mama Yoga's Wellness is our core principles are that we teach wellness and healthy living from a compassionate standpoint, from a practical standpoint. What good is yoga if after the yoga class you haven't really made any differences in your life? You see? So our offering is more about how does these set of practices impact your life, whether it's mindfulness for children, adults, employees, or staff. How are these practices going to impact your life? And so our core offerings, our core principles and values, everything emanates from that. How can it uplift and impact, indeed provide value for your life?
So who's a great referral for you?
Oh, a great referral. Well, in Mama Yoga's Wellness Coaching, we have two divisions. One is our mindfulness and wellness coaching for students, that is school districts, charter school personnel, as well as the staff and faculty of those institutions, even collegiate personnel who want mindfulness training as to how better pursue academics, how to keep stress at a minimum while they're in academics. Students who are having behavioral concerns, they are a client of ours as well. And the second division is the mindfulness professional development training for corporations, individuals who work at companies that they may have a stress-filled job. They may have a career where, I must use the term, it's old school, but going postal on somebody. In a corporate setting where it's a lot of stress, where your employees are out often because of their health. So our offering on that division, the Mama Yoga Wellness Corporate Training, helps to teach employees how to manage their healthy living from a practical standpoint. So any one of those particular needs would be a great referral for us.
That sounds really good. So what would you like to offer our audience in return for their support?
Well, I never when I go out to eat, I don't like to leave 10%. I don't like to leave 15%. I try to be as above average in every aspect of my life, right? And so I think what I'd like to do is offer your listening audience, if they let us know that their key code could be GEMS Radio, and we'll offer them 15% off of a total service.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks on behalf.
It's my pleasure. Absolutely.
So how would they contact you? What is your contact information, social media?
So the contact information, of course, we're on all of the social media platforms. Mama Yoga Wellness is our website, mamayogawellness.com, and that's MAMAYOGAWELLNESS, right? .com. And then Facebook and Twitter, of course. What's up, Twitter world? Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I have YouTube page, Mama Yoga's Wellness. We even do a weekly podcast on Spreaker called the Mind Body Energy Imbalance Show. And so people could find us on Spreaker as well. And as I say, on all of the social media platforms, mamayogawellness.com.
That sounds great.
All right.
That sounds fantastic.
We're going to make sure that phone is ringing.
All right. Thank you.
I know what you do.
Thank you.
I know what you do. That's that positive energy. So, Martin.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the name of your business, sir?
Organization.
Or your organization?
The organization is Dawson Community Foundation, DORSON.
Okay.
We are a community-based organization that provides a number of services primarily to school children. However, in addition to school children, we feed the homeless. We have Toys for Tots. There are a number of community-based type services that we provide. But our pet project is the one that's coming up this summer, starting on the 12th of July. Rites of Passage, Rite of Passage. As you mentioned earlier, there are a number of rites of passage programs around the country, just not enough. Our program is rather unique in that it's local. We are taking 25 boys who have graduated this past week from 8th grade to 9th grade. And we are going to train those boys for 4 years, not just this summer. So we have them for 7 weeks, starting this summer. We've taken from 10 middle schools, 5 in Newark, 3 in East Orange, and 2 in Irvington. So I could probably talk your entire radio show about this program, but some of the unique things about it are that we have 50 volunteers, police officers, firemen, and men from my church, Metropolitan Baptist Church, who are going to be involved with every aspect of these boys' lives for these 7 weeks. We have teachers who are going to teach them. We are concentrating this summer on just 2 areas. One is communication skills, reading, writing, and speaking, and the other is life skills. If we can introduce our boys to finding a moral compass,
Good idea.
there will be several other benefits to follow from that.
Yes.
So all of our volunteers, police officers have been checked, what's it called, background checked, and the firemen and the men from the church as well. Some other unique things about it are that there's a parenting skills class for the parent. So if your child is in our program, mother primarily is in a parenting skills class. So the only qualification that we have, we're targeting boys without fathers in the home, but they all have fathers, but fathers in the home,
In the home.
being raised by grandparents, or shared parent relationships.
So who else is a great referral? You gave me a few examples. Who else is a great referral for you, for your organization?
For our organization, we find that our teenagers' SAT prep begins in 11th or 12th grade. We're advocating that it begins in 6th or 7th grade. So that's one source for us. We need to convince our parents, if you are serious about SAT prep for your child, you need to start early. So we have an ongoing SAT prep class. We have one in the summer, all year long. We have, I think, 5 segments of SAT prep. So that's one source. The other is our Saturday business class. We have a 6 to 16 business class. We have a CPA on our board who teaches that class, teaching children about finance early. Those are the primary ones that I can think of in terms of referrals.
Well, I think our audience is going to be very excited to support this wonderful ministry that
Well,
you're doing here.
I know I'm going to be.
So what would you give our audience, our listening audience, in return for their support?
Connection with the young men, I guess.
Yes, especially for men, and the Rite of Passage program is all men, all males. Of course, we're doing sports. We have a camp. What they would get, the example would be when I spoke to the firemen in Newark, and one of the firemen asked me, well, what do you want us to do? So what I want him to do is to show up, be a man, and realize that you're talking to and surrounding a 13-year-old who doesn't have a father. So what I'm offering for our Rite of Passage is an opportunity for a man to make a difference in a boy's life. That may seem a bit esoterical, but to a man, the man that's listening, he understands.
Yes.
No question.
And mothers understand as well.
Yes.
So that's what we can offer. And as far as SAT prep and the other classes are concerned, what I offer is you're doing your child a service. You are being a parent by introducing your child to something that they need early and rather than late. It pays. It's saving you money.
Yes.
It's saving you money in terms of scholarship opportunities that your child might have because they are excelling. You save on legal fees because you don't have to call for lawyers to get your kids out of trouble. As I said, they are not as easy to identify those benefits, but I think as parents, we all understand those benefits.
Absolutely. There's a great pastor who's William Augustus Jones, who's gone on to heaven, who would say, you know, I would rather build boys than mend men.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, and you know, I agree with Dr. Jones wholeheartedly. How can we get in contact with you if people want to sponsor or support financially the Rites of Passage?
Dorson, Dorson, Community Foundation, on the web. Everyone has a website these days. We have one. We're in East Orange, but we're concentrating on Essex County. What I would ask your listeners to do is to just Google fatherless boys and see what's there. Our writers and our psychiatrists and politicians, we're saying that without a father, boys, everything that you can think of that's negative is impacted by the absence of a father. So, in fact, that is what really inspired me to start this rite of passage, seeing how angry and how hurt our 12 and 13-year-old boys are, not even understanding why. You know, our environmental, the environmental influences of our music and our videos and just our society, really not giving them positive messages.
Yes.
Our boys have never been in the company of men of integrity. Our boys don't know anyone who has a job that's a male. They may see one teacher in their high school experience who's male. The rest are female. So, you know, just Google fatherless boys and see what comes up.
And you will see. I have participated in Rites of Passage programs in churches as well. One in East Orange called Brother to Brother. We did something similar with what was then known as the Vernon L. Davey Junior High School. Now it's known as Cicely Tyson School of Performing Arts. I retained a relationship with the young man whose grandfather was raising him. His father was imprisoned for being a pharmaceutical salesman.
Without a license.
That's
Yes.
that is
And-
nicely put.
And grandfather was raising him, and then
Sure.
grandfather passed away suddenly. And he is now a Master Sergeant in the United States Armed Forces, and we're still in contact as two beautiful children, but was very, very angry when I met him at 12. So I understand that the value of that is, you know, we can't even quantify
You
that.
can't. Immeasurable.
No.
Well, we have 3 mental health professionals who are going to be on site. When I say life skills, not just finding a moral compass, but how to iron a shirt, how to iron a pair of pants, tell the difference between, you know, a Phillips screwdriver and a flathead screwdriver. Things that boys should know when coming into manhood. We are expecting our boys to be men, and we really haven't taught them to be men. They are observing our athletes and our entertainers
Yes.
and using them as their examples.
Yeah.
On our intake, I had a question of who do you admire and who do you look up to? Not one said my father. Not one. So, you know, as young, not one said my grandfather. So we're not teaching our boys what manhood is about. So hopefully, this program, I have a single donor this year. We're going to film this experience and package it so that I have one single donor, one friend of mine who is writing me a check for the budget, whatever the budget is. So I've got one shot at this, and it's going to work.
We know it's going to
Yes, it
work.
will.
It's
Yes,
no,
it
it's
will.
Gonna work. Well, we want to thank both of you for being here this evening. We want to thank Samud Scott for teaching us how to get our stuff back
Yes.
and how to at peace while we get our stuff back, and Martin for teaching us how to pay it forward. Because if someone doesn't stand in the gap, male or female, the future is not assured. But it is assured when we have servantpreneurs, like yourselves, who will stand in the gap. As we get ready for the Alicia Lee and Doug Oliver show, I want to thank the audience for being with us. Thank Samut Scott. Thank Martin Cox for being here. Support Mama Yoga in all that it does, and also support the Dorson Foundation. Both are doing great work. We'd like to have them both back. So many people say they're getting ready, getting set, but rarely ever go. You cannot complete anything unless you start something. And so what both of these great people are doing, they have not gotten ready and gotten set. They have gone, and they're out in the deep end doing things for a long time. There are two types of people in the world, Matthew's broadcast audience: dreamers like you, and dream killers. My recommendation is embrace the first, run like heck from the second. This is Stan Matthews and Lisa Thompson in the Matthews broadcast on behalf of Samut Scott and Martin Cox and the Dorson Foundation, Mama Yoga Wellness. Good night and God bless.
Good night.